Hi, I'm Izzy Wild, and I'm going to talk about the One Welfare impact of COVID-19 on the working equid community. This research was carried out by Wild Horse Welfare in partnership with the University of Nottingham. Today I'm going to use illustrations to help chat through the results. Wild Horse Welfare works with equids and equid-owning people across the world in low and middle income countries, across Latin America, Africa and Asia. There are 14 partner projects. Working equids are horses, donkeys and mules, which are relied on by many people in their lives and livelihoods. Where the 14 projects work, many people rely on these working equids. Improving equid and human welfare in these communities is a one welfare issue. In many cases, people have been marginalised, and poor welfare is seen in animals and humans alike. Equids can help with strengthening lives and livelihoods, but are often an invisible production animal. To illustrate this, take this farming couple. They have a mule that helps them collect and sell water to other people within their community, and also taking farming produce to market in the town. The mule also helps collection of firewood, a task that the wife would have to carry out on her own if she didn't have an equid to help with this task. Due to the remoteness of where they live, the infrastructure and the roads are poor, but the equids are able to provide excellent tractive power across this terrain. The mule is also able to transport people and provide access to wider communities and towns. For example, taking the children to school or members of the family to hospital. Wild Horse Welfare partner organisations work to improve equid welfare within the wider community dynamics. Through these examples, we can see how equids contribute to the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals and the part that improving animal welfare plays in this bigger picture. 11th of March 2020, a COVID-19 pandemic was declared. This swiftly affected the countries in which the partner organisations work. The aim of the study was to report the impact of the pandemic upon the individuals utilising working equids and upon the welfare of the animals themselves. Without going into too much detail, in summary, the survey was carried out across 14 countries between the 10th of November to the 31st of December 2020, and it was carried out in multiple languages, face-to-face, over telephone or online. There are a total of 1,530 responses across 14 partner projects. The majority of these were face-to-face. In Latin America, there are approximately 850 responses, in Africa 330, and in Asia 350. Most commonly, equids were used for freight transportation, for example the transportation of building materials, crop transportation such as coffee or sugarcane, and the transportation of people. There was little change in the type of work comparing the time of survey completion to pre-pandemic levels. There are some regional differences. Owners reported workload had changed most commonly due to change in demand, government enforcement or national restrictions, or local enforcement and regulations. Across all regions, most equids were working less compared to pre-pandemic levels, as shown by the green arrow. With the equids working less, most owners reported decreased income derived from their equid. Some examples of how equid owners were affected. Equids are currently not working due to a low number, 3 equids have died, and others are in poor condition. I use my donkey to collect firewood and sell it to the community members, but now after COVID-19 many people are no longer able to buy wood, hence the income generated per month has decreased. I normally plough for people, but few people afford to pay, and money generated per month is lower. We used to have village horse racing, but activities are prohibited due to COVID-19 regulations, so money made from the horse has decreased. Along with the decrease in equid income, monthly household income decreased for a similar percentage of equid owners, which is shown in pink. However, monthly household expenses and outgoings shown in blue remain the same for many, or increased. With equids working less, it could be hypothesised that equids will be in better condition or have fewer welfare issues. However, the results for this question varied regionally. This is where the country context was useful to interpret the results. In Latin America, many owners reported their equid remained the same body condition. In Africa, many reported they decreased body condition, and there have been recent devastating droughts in the region. In Asia, there have been a lot of recent rainfall and grass growth. As such, many reported their equids to be in good condition. Additionally, most reported there was no change in health status of their equid. An important limitation of the study is that this is an owner-reported health and welfare status, and this might differ from an objective welfare assessment carried out by someone who is impartial, but the results do provide insights into how equids' health may have changed during this time. Equids play an essential role in human lives and livelihoods in lower middle income countries, including the transportation of crops, goods and people. The type of work did not change much in the pandemic in the short term. Most equids were working less, and equid-derived income and overall household incomes have decreased, with expenses not changing or increasing. Equid welfare changes were variable at the time of survey completion, and there were some regional differences. People living in these communities were already marginalised, and the impact of the pandemic increases the rich-poor divide. There is job insecurity, lack of income support, and lack of governmental safety nets. Equid welfare wasn't the most concerning area to address from the results, but this will need close monitoring with time. Further surveys are currently being developed to monitor the longer-term impacts, for example, to see if income returns to the same level in these communities, or if equid welfare is affected more as owners are unable to afford to care for them. This is an important one welfare issue. Human and animal welfare need to be addressed together to mitigate the knock-on effects of the pandemic. Collaboration with humanitarian NGOs, governments and other animal NGOs is required. Thank you for listening and to all that took part in this survey. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to email me or check out the published article.